Welcome back, boys and girls, to Tea Time with Mr. T. As always, raise your cup, pinkies up, and come in for the clink. Alright, boys and girls, joining me once again is my sidekick, the Robin to my Batman, the Crypto to my Superman, the Toast to my Butter. This is George, the Stuffed Gorilla. Hello, boys and girls, welcome back. Alright. George, very excited today again because we have a very special book that we both really like. Now, this book is one that I think, George, did you take the book? No, not me, Mr. T. What happened? I had it around here somewhere. That's so odd, boys and girls. I'm sorry. I seem to have lost our book. Mr. T, Mr. T. Mrs. Duck. I have one for you. Mrs. Duck, thank you, but how did you know I was missing my story? Okay, well, George, why don't we do this one? Boys and girls, how about Ellie by Mike Wu? Thank you, Mrs. Duck, wherever she tore out of here really fast. Why did she run away so fast? Let's see. This is At the Zoo. Ellie by Mike Wu. On a bright winter day when Ellie was just finishing her lunch, the zookeeper came by with an announcement. "Gather round," Walt called. "I have some news." "It's a sad day," he said. "The zoo is closing." The animals were heartbroken. "There must be something we can do," Ellie whispered to her friends. "The zoo is our home." "Perhaps we can spruce it up a bit," Gerard suggested. Gerard always had good suggestions. "I'll prune the trees," Lucy said, nibbling a leaf. "If only my trunk were longer," said Ellie. "I'll move this rock," Gerard huffed, clearing it off the path. "If only my muscles were bigger," said Ellie. "We've already cleaned here," said the monkeys. "What can I do to help?" Ellie wondered. It seemed like everyone had a talent. Everyone but Ellie. Ellie thought she'd ask Walt to give her a job, but he was too busy too. When the monkeys called him away, Ellie picked up the strange object he'd been holding. It had smooth wood on one side and prickly hairs on the other. What is she holding? Anybody know? Ellie gave it a try. When Walt returned and saw her creation, he sprinted back down the path without a word. Had she ruined the wall? Soon, she heard a wagon with a squeaky wheel turn the corner. Maybe Walt did like her painting. Ellie added color here and a rainbow there. There were so many walls to color and so many colors to try. Ellie painted all of her friends. She painted the tallest ones, the smartest, and the quietest ones. Word spread of Ellie's talents. Squeak. Roar. Chirp. Ellie the artist. Those are phones. That's like telephones from when I was young. They had cords. A long time ago, huh? People came from all over the city to have their portraits painted. Some came with balloons. Others came with awards. Ellie even painted Mr. Mayor with a smile. Soon, people from all around the world came to see Ellie, the remarkable painting elephant. Lucy hosted the crowds as they arrived at the zoo. Gerard led tours through Ellie's art gallery. And on a bright spring day, with crowds cheering him on, Walt declared, "We are open for good. Thanks to Ellie." All right, that was a good story. I want to thank Mrs. Duck wherever she went. Anyways, boys and girls, a couple questions for you. Who were the characters in that story? And what was the setting? What was the setting of that story? Where did the story take place? And finally, what happened at the beginning? What was the big problem at the beginning? And then what were some of the things that went on in the middle of that story? And what happened at the very end of the story? Was that big problem, did it get solved at the end or no? And lastly, one more. Is this story about Ellie, is this fiction or non-fiction? And how do you know? How do you know? Okay, boys and girls, thank you very much for joining George and I for another Tea Time with Mr. T. Please raise your cup, pinkies up, and come in for the clink. Bye, we'll see you next time, okay?